Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shift how you use AI, because right now, you are carrying a literal genius in your pocket, but chances are you're using it like a toy. Think about it. Most people open up an AI app, ask one lazy question, get a pretty boring answer, and then just close it. But today, I'm giving you the exact frameworks and powerful prompts that will turn this tech into your personal mentor, your coach, and your ultimate problem solver. Let's get into it.
So here is the hard truth that nobody really tells you. The AI itself, that's not the skill. The prompt is the skill. We literally have an infinitely patient tutor available to us 24 hours a day. And yet, we ask it vague, lazy questions and wonder why we get robotic garbage back. The exact same AI can give one person total garbage and give another person absolute genius. It is entirely based on how they ask.
Just look at the sheer contrast here. A vague prompt like, write a follow-up email takes maybe 15 seconds to type out, but it's going to cost you 15 minutes of rewriting because the AI essentially has to guess what you want. An engineered prompt, on the other hand, gives us specific role, clear context, and tight constraints. So we've got to stop typing lazy questions. Specific input produces specific output every single time.
Okay, so let's fix some of those bad structural habits right off the bat. If we look at a deep dive into the official OpenAI prompt guide, fixing your output really comes down to three main rules that shrink the model's decision surface. First up, use clear delimiters. Throw in some triple hashtags to separate your instructions from your data so the model doesn't get confused. Second, force it to think step by step in a hidden block. This honestly kills about 80% of hallucinations. And third, frame things positively. Tell the model exactly what to do rather than what not to do. It processes positive instructions so much better.
And there is actual science behind why forcing that internal reasoning works, based on some really fascinating research out of the University of Toronto. It's known as chain of thought prompting. See, if you ask a complex math question directly, it often leads to a hallucinated, completely wrong answer. But by forcing the model to generate a sequence of natural language steps, basically making it show its math, it naturally arrives at the correct logic. You are giving it the cognitive scaffolding it needs to actually succeed.
So a huge part of this is just how you mentally approach the AI. Think of it this way, and this is straight from the business experts over at Layer 3 Labs. Treat the AI like a super smart new hire. I mean, a genius new employee is still going to fail if you don't give them a brilliant brief, right? They're intelligent, they're eager, but they know absolutely nothing about your specific situation, your company, or your goals until you explicitly tell them.
To brief this new hire perfectly every single time, you want to use the CTF framework. Context, task, and format. Context is your background and your audience. Task is the specific job that needs to be done. And format, that's the exact shape of the output. Are we talking a bulleted list, a strict 100-word limit? Nail all three of those, and your output quality is going to jump immediately.
Now, within that context step, there is a massive shortcut. Assigning a persona is arguably the highest leverage 5 words you can possibly use. By just starting your prompt with act as a specific expert, like say, act as an experienced B2B sales manager, you instantly shape the vocabulary, the tone, and the level of detail for the entire output. You're basically giving the AI a character to play.
Let's see how this builds into our first life-changing superpower prompt. When you use this exact phrasing to assign a mentor persona, you suddenly get an advisor who is available 24 hours a day, one that never judges you, never gets tired, and actually asks you deep questions to formulate a step-by-step plan that's entirely based on your unique struggles.
Next up is the famous Explain Like I'm 10 prompt. Seriously, whenever you hit a dense, jargon-filled topic, please don't just Google it and get even more confused. Use this instead. Hard topics suddenly become easy. Confusing words turn into simple, relatable stories. This one single prompt turns the AI into hands down the best teacher you've ever had.
But wait, there is a critical warning here from the study experts at Do It A Day. The golden rule of explaining things simply is that you absolutely must provide your source material. If you just type in explain photosynthesis, the AI is just going to give you a generic web answer that might completely miss what your professor actually wants. You have to anchor the AI. Paste your specific textbook excerpt or your lecture notes right into the prompt and then ask it to simplify that specific text.
Okay, but what if you're just totally stuck in life or at work? This problem solver prompt is literally your way out. By asking the AI to find the root cause, generate 3 different options, and then actually recommend the best one with a clear action plan,
You instantly remove all that overwhelm. No more anxiety staring at a wall, just clear, actionable steps to move forward.
And if you're ever staring at a blank page, this brainstorming prompt will absolutely save you. By assigning that creative expert persona and asking for 20 unique, practical ideas, you can generate endless, highly targeted creativity in just a matter of seconds. We're talking content ideas, business strategies, weekend plans. It does all the heavy lifting, so you don't have to.
All right, let's dive into some slightly more advanced territory here. As AI models evolve, those older mega prompts where we crammed 1,000 rules into one box, they actually start to fail. Instead, developers are using what's called agentic workflows. Basically, you decompose the task into pieces. Use one prompt to generate a plan, a separate prompt to execute just one step of that plan, and a third one to validate it. Smaller, focused steps completely outperform one massive, confusing instruction blob.
And that brings us to a really vital realization. A prompt is a conversation. It's not a single command. The iteration loop is where the real magic happens. You generate an initial draft, then you refine it by telling the AI exactly what you didn't like or what it needs to add, and finally, you post-process it yourself with a human review. Never, ever just copy and paste the very first draft.
You can actually see this loop in action right here. Look at draft 1. It's just a boring, super generic paragraph about drinking water. But by providing targeted feedback in the next prompt, asking the AI to make it engaging for young adults, adding some bullet points, and dropping in a few hashtags, draft 2 becomes vibrant and immediately usable. You have to actively steer the AI to get this kind of result.
To ensure you're getting those draft 2 results every time, you've got to avoid these fatal errors. Being vague and skipping context just means the AI has to guess. Overloading your prompt makes the AI do everything poorly. Skipping the format means you're going to get a massive wall of text when you really just wanted a quick bulleted list. And finally, trusting it blindly without fact-checking the logic? Yeah, that's just a recipe for disaster.
Let's move to our final, incredibly powerful prompt. If you're someone who struggles with structure, use this to design your perfect day. It takes your personal goals and builds a custom, highly disciplined daily routine complete with time blocks. Now you have a concrete plan for a focused, productive day, one that balances work, health, and rest built entirely around your actual life.
So, the crucial takeaway from all of this is that AI is an unfair advantage, but only if it's given the right instructions. You've got a mentor, a teacher, a problem solver, all just waiting inside this one tool. The gap between those who use AI like a basic search engine and those who actually engineer their prompts is growing wider every single day. The people who master this skill right now, they are going to be the ones leading tomorrow.
So I challenge you. Pick just one of these frameworks or prompts and try it out today. Completely challenge how you've been interacting with this technology. Because the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to stop talking to a toy and start leading with a genius? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Save these prompts, try them out, and I'll see you next time.